Yes.
Yeah, you include a lot of formulas. Okay, perhaps we should simplify because this is the other people's work. As long as we have introduction, okay, indicating how that is, what is that model and how that is used. Okay, that should be adequate. We don't have to throw a lot of detailed development derivation process, right? Because that's too detailed there.
Yeah.
But no matter what, as a communication step, you should make the formulas complete, right? Like here, can you see that? It's not readable.
Oh, okay.
This block here,
Yeah.
it's not readable, and also you need to explain the formula, right? So that's the rule of thumb there. Okay, and then chapter 4. Chapter 4, we have results to report. Okay, when you send me the reports, okay, you include a lot of details. That's good for us to verify the completeness. Okay, but for the thesis, okay, if you pile up a lot of tables, okay, that block the flow for reading and understanding, right? So, what do you think the experimental design is? If you have a title called experimental design, you should describe about it. Okay. Design is basically what kind of experiments you are conducting. Got it?
Yeah.
So you do have baseline with LDA, right? Okay, you have a post-LDA, and the post-LDA has the more distinction about the part of speech classes, right? Okay, when you extract the keywords, you have semantic classes in the different part of speech categories, or you can also focus on the nouns, right? Okay, post LDAs allow you to extract the customized stop words. So you are going to compare the post processing with the manually collected stop words versus the customized stop words, right? Okay, and also talk about the cross validation, right? So essentially, it describes at the sort of general level. Okay, how do you plan to conduct the experiments? And anything that people should know, right? You use the cross validation, right? Okay, and you I think for the seed words, right? Okay, you split the data into training and testing, right?
Yep.
Okay, and the training, you extract the, I think we held the seed words at the level of, is it 30% or 20%? I can't remember.
20%.
20%, yes, and explain why you choose 20%, right? It is a modest amount that people can possibly come up with or extracted from a small number of labeled data documents there, right? So things like that, and that level of communication should be provided, okay, so that people have the sort of a general understanding about what kind of experiments you are going to conduct.
Okay.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
And when you write this section here, just keep in mind what kind of experiments you're going to conduct. Include including the baseline, post-LDA, and the different variation of post-LDA. Okay, and also the how do you split the data, into training and testing, and how do you conduct the cross-validation. Okay, and if you communicate that properly, people now have an idea what experiments you're conducting. And then the next one is, you're doing cross-validation here. Okay, the next one here is about the cross-validation can go up. Okay, the next one is really just the evaluation measure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we used the F measure, right?
Yeah.
And also report the precision and recall.
Mm-hmm.
Because these two are conflicting measures, and F measure is the combination of the two. So you want to review the details. Okay, and when you did the cross-validation, you took the macro average. Gave a formulas, so that it can be understood properly. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I would suggest you reorganize this a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that the measure here. What's this one here? The method used. Okay, you don't have to explain the cross validation in this level of detail here. Okay.
Okay.
You just say what a fivefold, right, is used.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cross validation is the well understood approach.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
My thinking here is about what's this one here? The algorithm. Okay, if it's about how you calculate the measure, you can explain that in the section 2, right? This is here. Where? Okay. I have to review that one here. Baseline results. Okay. Okay, when you reported the baseline results, the table looks bad, right? This kind of table looks very ugly. You should probably reduce the fonts a little bit, okay, for the table there, right? For example, if you reduce that to font 11, okay, it looks much cleaner, right? Mm-hmm. This line here, word extracted, okay. This column here seems to be a little too wide. Sorry. Okay, this can be perhaps simplified. Just the keywords, okay, extracted. Okay, and when you show the number, that will be clear as a number there. Okay, mm-hmm. So somehow you need to look at how other paper present a table, make the table looks a little bit cleaner, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the number here seems to be too long, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, when we look at ourselves, we try to have a higher level of precision, so that we can see the differences. Okay, now based on observation, if you find that the 3 digits after decimal of 4 already shows the differences, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then you can just make that sort of the cutoff. Okay, this is too long here. Doesn't have to be this long here.
Okay.
Right, like 4 digits. Okay, and also make it like the sort of even, like this one here, right? Mm-hmm. You fill up with extra zero so that it will be more like a sort of the consistent display of the numbers there. Okay. This one is a fine, but you put a subtitle here. If this is the only form of post-processing, it maybe just explain that in the discussion here, right? Okay, that indicating when you do just the basic LDA, okay, all the words will be sorted into the different sort of the topic categories, okay, and accordingly, some of the stop words also kind of forced into some categories, right? So because of that, we need to do the stop words removal as a post-processing step. Then you talk about the common stop words. Is it the first time you're talking about the stop word list? If it's the first time, you should also tell how many stop words are in the list.
Yeah.
Okay, and maybe in appendices, you can show the full list of common stop words.
Okay.
And you refer to that as the list in the appendices. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be clear. So when people read the baseline results, okay, they know that this result is computed out of the LDA, okay, and the results also cleaned up by removing stop words, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and you get a sense of how many words are extracted, by this level of performance there, right? Now, did you? This is an optimized result, isn't it? Okay, you should also show that for the test. Okay, sorry. We have a seed words. Okay, we have a test set. Okay, you should that the results actually go through an optimization process. Again, the detail could be in the appendices, but the best configuration is that if the seed words is always a 20%, right? You just stay that in one place, that's fine. Like seed word here, we talk about it earlier, the data set, experimental design. The seed word is remained the constant, so you just need to see the search for the computed cutoff versus the test set cutoff. Okay, mentioning these are the combination producing the best results. Okay, so somehow your chapter 4 on the one hand is incomplete. You didn't give enough the information about how experiments is conducted. On the other hand, it has a lot of table that is excessive. So you need to revise that a little bit. Okay, make the completeness is always a requirement. On the other hand, you don't want to have a lot of redundancy. Too much data, too much information. Okay, maybe a little bit redundant. Okay, that make that difficult for people to read or get the good ideas about the experiments.
Okay. So do we need to remove some tables?
We'll get there, but for now, okay, if you show this as the baseline results, you need to show that this is actually go through the optimization process. Okay, the reason you can get a 30 and a 20, right? This one here, because it's fixed, you don't have to mention it repeatedly, right? Okay, this 30 and a 20 is actually out of the optimization process. So you have a detail table in your spreadsheet, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that one should be included in the appendices. Like in the very end of the thesis,
Yes.
you lost data table could go there for completeness, but we don't block the reading, because with a lot of data there, people get confused or slow down in their reading process. Just a lot of detail there, we pick up the best configuration to show the results.
Yeah.
Okay, so that should be good for the baseline. Okay, the post-LDA. The post-LDA here, I would recommend you have two subsections, like a post-LDA results, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the first subsection here is about for example, post-processing, okay, with the common stop words. Okay, and the second subsection is post-processing with the customized stop words. Are you with me?
Yes.
Yeah, these are two different organizations. You don't want to confuse people, right? Okay,
Yes.
Common stop words make it like more sort of related to the baseline here, right? Okay, but you have results, okay, that is for all part of the speech. This is confusing too. Okay, not all part of speech. All the semantic classes, right?
Mm.
Okay, you should see keyword. This one here. This is the keywords extracted, okay, with all semantic classes. Or keep and stop words. So you have that. So then you have keep and stop words. Okay. The post-LDA is theoretically, if it is done properly, it should naturally push the stop words into the functional word classes, right?
Yeah.
So this is a meaningful set. Yeah. So you actually have three, right?
Mm-hmm.
These three subsections, right?
Yeah.
Three subsections. Okay, without removing stop words to see how post-LD can do itself. Okay, and then the stop words removal, post-processing with the common stop words, and the post-processing with the customized stop words. And for each one of them, okay, you're going to show two tables, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to show two tables. The one is all the semantic classes is used to compute the stop keywords, okay, and only focus on the nouns. Nouns only, and all the semantic classes. Two different tables there, right?
Right.
Okay. Now, what I'm concerned here is this one here. A lot of sort of the data analysis there.
Uh-huh.
Okay, this one here, I would suggest you start in the first section. Okay, in the baseline, right? Okay, in the baseline results, okay, which is relatively small and thin here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, after you report the results, okay, you show the some kind of the overlap analysis, right? Okay, overlap analysis. Okay, you just report the numbers, okay, and the details would go into the appendices as well. Okay, if some results is interesting, we only show selectively one table or two. We don't want to overwhelm the reader with too many tables there. Okay, and are you with me?
Yes.
Yeah, overlap analysis first is done between the baseline versus the basically the baseline between the seed words, okay, and the test words and extract the keywords. Okay, so that give a reader an idea, okay, what kind of overlapping analysis you have done, okay, and the general kind of interesting numbers that is reported there. Okay. Now in appendices, okay, when you report those the overlap analysis, okay, you should okay, give an intuitive meaning why you are considering those subset. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So see, you have a large table, lots of them. Okay, it's really piled up here. It's not good for the reader, right?
Yeah.
But it's a natural when you push them into the sort of appendices. Okay, here you just give a summary about the kind of overlap analysis and what the kind of numbers for each, and some kind of interesting observation there. You have to, really highlights, okay, what you have obtained, okay, in the overlap analysis. Okay, you need to help the reader, okay, by provide the highlights and the summary. Okay, so that can get rid of those lot of detailed results. Okay, you don't want to break the flow because really, for this chapter here, okay, people are more interested in this kind of table here. Okay, what kind of results you're getting, okay, for different setting here. Okay, the best result should be highlighted with the bold face, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what's missing here is that you just show the results, okay, which is not good enough. You should also provide some discussion. Okay, once you have a table presented, okay, you should highlight, okay, and identify what kind of findings you get, okay, by analyzing the results. Is that one word, media news?
Yeah. Maybe. Yes.
Really? Okay. So 4, you have to pretty much clean it up, okay, and add more discussion there. Okay, this level of presentation is not adequate. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You always leave some space between the sections. Okay, so you have a lot of table here, which is excessive. Now, for post-LDA, you could also kind of mention about the overlap analysis. Okay, but just again, it just highlights. Okay, if there's no need for table, just to give a description, about what kind of overlap results you're getting. Okay, summary basically, right?
Mm.
Okay, again, detail can go to the appendices if you choose to, for completeness. Okay, so as of now, you have a lot of table piled up in chapter 4. Okay, that's not quite as useful, okay, for reading.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for post-LDA, okay, as I said earlier, okay, you have 3 subsections. Okay, you have the one without removing stop words at all. Okay, you have the one with the common stop words removal. You have the one with the customized stop words removal. So the last one here, customized stop words removal. Okay, at the beginning, you should talk about how you get the customized stop words, because we did some kind of search there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you should describe the what you have done and show the differences, right? Okay, and then show the results. Okay. Again, it's a lots of table here, which is not really as helpful. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So for this coming week, you should really improve the chapter 4 as much as you can, as we discussed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and finish the chapter 5 to complete the first draft.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. And meanwhile, I'll try to get the 3 review polished if possible. Then we can, continue from there.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions about the changes proposed?
Change is good.
Okay. Okay. And another thing you could possibly do is to just make it clear. Okay, all the formulas are complete and accurate.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Oh, there's one thing here. Your total number of segments. Okay, the number I got. Okay. Now for the OPP 115, right?
Yeah.
Okay, for this data set here, is it possible that one segment can be labeled with multiple categories? This is a method. Okay, when you show the total number of segments, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you show the segments for each category,
Mm-hmm.
now this one here, right? Okay, these just basically words. Okay, ideally, you shouldn't show them as kind of a picture. Right, this one here?
Mm-hmm.
You see the different size here is not controllable. Okay, just type it up. Just type them as regular text so we can change the fonts and accordingly. Okay?
Okay.
Or you can make them like a table, like in a box, and show them. Okay, again, as I said, all the tables, okay, and graphs, okay, should have a caption and a number.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that way it'll show up in the table of contents.
Mm-hmm.
Which one I was looking at here? Okay, this one here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, is it possible that some segments have multiple categories? Or each segment only has a unique category in the labeled data set?
They have the unique category.
Unique?
Yes, because they finally will make decision which what category this segment belongs to. Even
really?
Yeah.
So when I add them up, when I copy this column here to the spreadsheet, okay, I get a total of 4,123. Is that number you have?
Let me double check maybe.
Double check, yeah. It's 4,153. And when I look at the paper by the authors, okay, they were talking about 3,792 segments.
Mm-hmm.
So somehow you need to double check whether the way you partition the segments, whether it's not done properly or not.
Okay.
Okay, it's not it'd be good to be clear, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 4,100 is a little bit more than that. So I figure something, maybe the format, when you extract the segments, maybe something is not done as intended.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's something you need to verify, double check. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Do you think it's doable, possible for you to improve your chapter 4 and then finish chapter 5, okay, and also fix those formula?
Yes.
Okay. The things that you should use your time a little bit sort of wisely. Okay, when you have a block of time, you focus on the writing. Okay, because you need a time to sit down, think, and write down what you have gone through. Mm-hmm. But when you have some kind of a spare time, fragments of a time, and maybe a little bit tired, and then you should really focus on those like little things, like retype the formula and improve the presentation of the tables.
Mm-hmm.
Got it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so try to use your time more effectively.
Okay. So, thanks. So what time are we supposed to make the appointment of defense?
You should check the Wikipedia. I'll look at the Wikipedia. So there's requirements there. Okay. Or you can also email the grad secretary coordinator assistant, graduate assistant to the Jake.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you are now try to finish up the thesis, mm-hmm. and want to defend in the semester. What are the timelines requirement? Okay, that will be the easiest. Okay, just send an inquiry to Jake. Okay, get some kind of the requirements about the dates.
Okay.
Okay, and sometime we have to formulate the examination committee.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, we may still have some time. 1 month, I think, is inadequate. Okay, but for now, try to produce a readable thesis. It is a top priority.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
But it should be helpful to send a message send an inquiry to Jake. Okay, to know about the requirements, timelines.
Okay.
Okay? Great. Okay, take care.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.